We're okay. Hey, Autumn, did we close the public hearing for the affordable housing
No.
law? So we did, we have to do that, but we're not taking any action tonight. Because we need Will. Yeah. All right, stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As a way of respecting, honoring, and creating awareness about our past, we begin our village board meetings by acknowledging that New Paltz is on the ancestral land of the Munsee, Esopus, and Lenape people. And please join us in finding new ways to support Indigenous communities by checking out our agendas and minutes and seeing that list of real ways to support communities and help us add to them.
There's no changes to the consent or business agenda. I move that we accept the consent agenda. All in favor?
Hi.
Announcements. We're going to be discussing the budget later, but it was nice to receive a positive note from the state comptroller's office that our fiscal score and our environmental score as a municipality improved this year versus the last couple of years. So I just wanted to make sure that that was publicly known. I can write something up about that and share it more widely. And I don't believe I had any more announcements. So I imagine, Alex, you wanted to
Yeah.
share.
I have a couple announcements. So because the community beautification day was rained out and it was really cold, so I'm glad about that. The new date is Saturday, April 13th. And those sign up links will be shared out everywhere online. April 20th is Earth Day on Huguenot Street. We're going to have a really cool table, and so will lots of other organizations, so don't miss that. Saturday, May 4th, there's a housing speak out happening in Peace Park, and I was just in a meeting about that right before this meeting, and it sounds like it's going to be a really good day for, you know, hearing other people's stories and finding out some more resources too. Saturday, May 4th is also the annual Riverkeeper sweep. Saturday, June 1st is the 20th annual Pride March and Festival. The vendor sign up link will be going out tonight whenever I get a chance to send that out. Hope to see everybody there. And then the Public Service Commission still needs to hear from literally everybody. That we need Central Hudson to give us a rate reduction, not an increase. So, you know, you can please go to either my social media or Assemblymember Sarah Hanash-Fressa's social media and website for a link that kind of makes submitting these comments a bit easier. I will reshare those links after this meeting. And Narcan and other harm reduction services are available to anyone, anywhere in Ulster County, thanks to Elmville Regional Hospital's Project Rescue Program. You can text ERH Rescue to 21000. And this includes Narcan, harm reduction supplies like test kits, NOR kits, and sex kits. The Never Use Alone hotline has an updated phone number, 1-877-696-1996. The old one should still work, but save this one too. And Narcan trainings are always available online at opioidpreventionnp.org/Narcan-training. Basically watch the video, then fill out the form, and you know, you'll get your supplies. And finally, the free food fridge is available to anyone right outside Village Hall here at 25 Platicle Ave. It always needs more food. So to check out, you know, some guidelines for that, you can go to millionsofbutterflies.org free food fridge. Guidelines are basically label ingredients. And that's it.
You want to add something, Bill?
Just spring cleanup 2024 starts April 8th. You can go to the village website or to the village's Facebook page and get all the details.
Great. I wanted to also share publicly, because we can never reemphasize this enough, the Ion Water app is available, and it has been available for all of the water customers in the town outside the village. Those meters were updated a couple of years ago, and anyone with an updated meter can use that app. Our meters in the village have been updated more recently, but it's not so much that the mechanicals of the meter have been updated, but just the reader, where the battery powers the reader, has been swapped out so that they can send their signal. And basically those batteries last for about 13 years, and then they fail after 13 years of use. So the readers are just being updated with a new meter. But this is very important and useful for anyone who wants to be really careful about toilets that leak. You know, it's a super common problem where you can't hear a toilet running. Sometimes you can, but there are other times when you cannot. And then folks, including myself, I currently have a leak at my house that I can't find. So I probably have to go around and look at each toilet, go into the basement, and coordinate whether the shutting off the valve at the toilet, does that impact the meter down in your basement? Because we get questions regularly from people who have a larger than they expect bill, and that bill is both for water and for sewer, and no one wants to pay for water that they didn't use. But as we've discussed many times at this table, there's no legal way to provide someone with a credit for water that they did not intend to use. Otherwise, would be violating state gifting laws. You would basically be asking your neighbors to pay for your toilet or hose that was left on in your yard, and that would be a very problematic thing for us to do, to go ahead and use our water fund balance because someone used water accidentally. So we can share that on the village website. I put it on social media today. There's a couple of links, whether you have an Apple phone or an Android phone. You can then go ahead and keep track of your water usage in real time.
How does one know they've got a new meter?
We've been going around and physically going into people's basements or wherever their meters are and swapping them out. So a lot of the meters have been updated, and some still need to be updated. Like we're doing several every single day. But you can't, you would know because someone came into your house.
Change the meter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to have your account number to have it. So I'm not texting my landlord for that.
That was it as far as announcements from all of us. Then we're gonna continue. We have a public hearing that is open regarding the update to our affordable housing law. I think we're all comfortable conceptually with the changes. We're still waiting on some information and seeker review from our attorney so that we can formalize this. But I'm going to go ahead and move that we close this public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then we're going to put that on next time's agenda, and hopefully we'll have all of the paperwork buttoned up to go ahead and adopt that law. As far as the coterminous government discussion regarding consolidation with the town and the village, on Friday, town and village officials had a good two separate conversations with the with the two consultants that provided proposals to help us with the consolidation process and help us write a reorg plan. And then the process would involve, if the town and village want to go ahead and adopt that reorg plan and then ask voters to vote on it, whether it's in November or at some election there, subsequently, we could go ahead and do that. But we had two very good conversations, and we're just waiting for all of the board members on the town and village to chime in and say which of the two firms that submitted proposals that we would like to go with. The other update, and I can write some more formal notes about this, is, the one pager that we had circulated some time ago talked about the concept of a coterminous town-wide village. And the research that I've done and the feedback that I've received from the Department of State, there is a path where coterminous town-wide village, that we could pursue that path, but and we can get into this when we look more closely when we're working with the consultant, but I think this is more likely to be a consolidation of the two existing governments, so not a dissolution of either, because I think the advantage of having a consolidation is then everyone in the community, whether it's the town outside the village or village residents, everyone gets to vote on a consolidation plan, as opposed to just village residents voting on a dissolution, and then the town residents wouldn't be involved in that conversation via the referendum. But then I think the other thing that's very important and unique about New Paltz is that we have municipal water users and sewer users in the town. And then we also have, obviously, the village uses municipal water and sewer. But if you live outside of the village and you have a private septic or a private well, you would not want to or be expected to pay for municipal water and sewer. And what I have learned is that it would make more sense for a government for New Paltz to pursue becoming a new town as opposed to a coterminous town-wide village, because only towns can establish special districts like water and sewer districts. So because of our uniqueness, and because of, I think, approaching this as democratically as possible, I would imagine that we will end up with New Paltz becoming a new town as opposed to a coterminous village. I think, looking at it from 30,000 feet, I think a couple of the main objectives is to have a single board of elected officials, and then also a community that's eligible for the Citizens Empowerment Tax Credit. So those two things, I think, are driving a lot of, where we should end up in terms of efficiency and making sure that this potential change makes fiscal sense. But a lot of people seem to struggle with, like, what does coterminous mean? So we might be in a situation where we no longer have to wrap our heads around that. And all coterminous means is just that you have a shared boundary. It's not actually a complicated word, but consolidation is probably an easier concept for individuals to grasp. But I just wanted to at least share where my head was at based on conversations that I've had with Department of State and other folks who are more familiar with some of these concepts.
Cool.
Any other questions or?
Just a quick observation, comment that I participated in the interview process, and generally speaking, it's a great step for us to take to have someone shepherd process through. I was very thankful for that. So I
Yeah,
think the community be very thankful as well to have.
Yeah, both consultants, I think, showed that they have the expertise and qualifications to really help us, figure out if this is where we want to go. I think the supervisor has said that he thinks it's important that we don't automatically say this is where we are going, but he seems willing to say, like, let's take a really hard look at this. And, if we come up with a plan that's been vetted by the public, by the board members, then it may be a really perfect plan, but then it also requires approval by the voting populace. So, there are several steps that have to occur. Okay, then moving on to item number 2 on this business agenda. As I mentioned earlier, we closed our public hearing this evening, and then we're just waiting for some paperwork from our attorney, and we'll put that on the next agenda. Then for the position statement, appropriate definition of family, I think it's fine to wait until the next meeting when we have 5 of us here versus 3.
Okay.
And the Arbor Day Foundation names New Paltz a tree city. There's an event regarding trees that I'm going to tomorrow.
Is that it?
I'm not even 100% sure.
Sorry, yeah, Arbor Day, Tree Cities, the naming of the Tree City celebration is on campus at 9:30 tomorrow.
Yes, no, that's on my agenda. I'll definitely be there representing our community. But I think we've been named a tree city many times in the past. We actually have a well-weathered sign as you enter New Paltz on 299. That
So this is a renewal of our designation. Do you know how frequently they,
I don't know.
review? Okay.
I'm sure our Shade Tree Commission members or our town supervisor
Right.
could explain. And then parking meter zones, I believe Stevie was gonna take a closer look at the zones to maybe tighten some stuff up. So we'll wait until Stevie returns. Building use, Stana did some work in terms of like figuring out how much we should be charging for groups or individuals to use the old fire station garage and some of our other stuff. So I'm going to wait until Stana returns for that as well.
Thanks to her research.
Yeah, she gathered some data, so that was really nice. She made sure that happened straight away. So at least we have something for our board to consider. And then the Restore New York Round 8 submission. So this would be, we submitted an application during Round 7 last year. So we submitted a letter of intent on the 25th that we plan to apply. And Autumn Seguin, our project manager, has been shepherding that application, and we're hoping that we learned a lot since our application where we did not receive an award last year. And also the landscape is a little bit different now. We're further along in terms of the monies that we have secured via the grants that former Assemblymember Cahill secured on behalf of the Ann Oliver House, as well as Senator Hinchy secured to stabilize the house. So those are, 2 grant awards that are much further along. So I think it shows like some momentum that hopefully the grantors will take notice of, and maybe we'll be successful and get the money that we need to, have that property completely restored. So we have to schedule a public hearing for this grant application. I propose that we do it on April 24th.
That's like a rescheduling, right? So it's moving the one that was previously scheduled
Yes.
Oh,
from the 10th to the 24th.
because we had already picked a date, so we're
Mhm.
just changing
Right.
the date to the 24th. Got it. Okay, so you seconded having the public hearing on the 24th.
So the tentative budget, any changes, that date stays the same? Okay, thank you. March 31st.
Okay, all in favor of hosting the public hearing for the Restore New York Round 8 application regarding the Ann Oliver House?
Okay.
Aye. And I guess this is a placeholder on this agenda, the Ulster County Municipal Parks and Recreation Grant. I believe we're still waiting for the contracts to be finalized with the attorneys up at Ulster County. So we continue to nudge them, and that's the money that we applied for and were awarded $100,000 to put towards our $250,000 pickleball and basketball court upgrade on Elting Avenue across the street from St. Joe's Church.
Yeah, there was an item on their the county ledge's last agenda that they passed that had to do with this, so.
With New Paltz or a different community?
It was with us.
Oh, yeah.
It was supposed to be scheduled for the 17th, but we
Oh.
didn't get a confirmation of it. Like, that's what we were trying to get yesterday, was confirmation of it, but Livens out of the office.
So we're thinking that it was approved, but we just need that confirmation
Yeah.
so that we can sign the
I would say they
contract.
went really fast when they went through all their like ARPA things and bond resos, so like. But it was on the agenda and they voted yes on like 10 things in a row.
Okay.
So I think that was us.
And Peter Criswell, the chair of the county ledge, has been attending the Supervisors Association meetings each month, and it's great to have him there just as a real live person to answer questions and provide updates. But one thing that has me excited that he's been talking about for some time is that probably their final project as far as sharing some of that county ARPA money with the municipalities would involve muni solar projects. And we've been talking about using, if we were successful at securing an award, using that money for the solar array that we want to site at the new fire station. Hopefully we get it before we're forced to stop calling it the new fire station.
We're calling it Central Station.
It's already got a new name. You're not even
That's what
calling it
we
the
refer
new
to-
station.
Well,
Oh,
we haven't moved off of that, but yeah, it's Central Station.
Central Station, like it.
but we did get an update from Ted Nitza. I think he was looking to finalize what an RFP would look like, so we could try to have solar installers provide us with proposals to put an array on that roof. But I think he's inching closer to having everything finalized. And then we have this tentative budget for fiscal year 24-25. So that would start June 1st of 24 through May 31, 25. And, as I said at the last meeting, we're proposing no change to the tax rate. So what we have here is, the opportunity to schedule the public hearing on April 10th. And I'm here publicly asking my colleagues whether there's anything that you wanted to change or add to this budget.
Well, I have no changes. I was looking at it today, or, increases in certain line items are reasonable.
Okay.
Hmm.
Any feedback?
Yeah, I don't have any feedback.
Okay, well, we also we have the opportunity to keep we don't have to adopt the tentative
Yeah.
budget tonight. We can adopt the budget after the public hearing.
Yeah, I'd rather that.
Okay. So all we're doing this evening is just, did we vote on, I think this is just a discussion portion. I mean, maybe one of you seconded it, my motion to,
We had already
You
said
scheduled
it,
it last.
we
but
scheduled it for the 10th at the last meeting. Okay.
yeah,
So then
You're just
we're not
announcing
taking
it.
any action tonight. We're just sharing that the public hearing is taking place. But then as a board, we are not, all we're doing is just taking a temperature if we want to change anything. If we do want to change anything, we can go ahead and do that before Friday with Nancy.
yeah, and it's just so interesting, just like the timings of different budgets and stuff. Because like when we read through it, a lot of, every municipal budget depends on like the state budget and all of that. So it's like, I don't anticipate any changes, but yeah, so we can't make any changes to the tentative budget after the 31st. And there probably shouldn't be any changes anyway after that.
Yeah.
But if people come and make comments, we'll consider them if things need to be changed.
That's
for the
right. We
public.
can still do that.
Exactly.
And one comment that I did receive was an update from one of our staff, because we do have a truck that we did not anticipate needing to invest in so soon or replace so soon. But it seems like we might have to find money this summer to invest in a new truck. And hopefully that can partially be offset by selling a couple of the older trucks. And we may have to decide whether or not there is a pickup truck that we were planning to purchase in this budget. So we should be discussing internally whether we're gonna keep the pickup truck in there to pay for it next year, or, how exactly, we'll figure out investing in this replacement truck. It's not optimal, but it's okay not to have a large truck like this during the summertime, but it's primarily used for plowing. So that's why we would hope to time it before next winter. So just putting that on everyone's to-do list, just to recognize that we'll probably have another truck discussion. And this is separate from the truck
Yeah.
that we are purchasing via the co-op. We spoke about that at the last meeting. And that is largely being paid for by the state and municipal grant that Senator Hinchy secured on our behalf to replace our pollution emitting plus 20-year-old truck and replace it with a new, much more energy efficient vehicle. So this other truck is a second truck. Okay, no action on item number 9. I motion that we move bills and claims.
Second.
All in favor? Planning board liaison update. So we had a meeting last Tuesday.
Yep. And no update from Ulster County Planning Board because we meet next week. Planning Board did receive the comments from Ulster County Planning Board on 11 Water Street, and the next step is to draft a resolution approving this development. Terry Dolan mentioned something to the effect that he wanted to get the fire chief's sign off on turning radius for trucks. So that needs to be one of the more other things that need to be completed in terms of that review. 80, is it 84, 88? No, which Friday's address? 85 North Chestnut is back before the planning board. So that's going to be reviewed once again. That's the multi-use property right there on Mulberry and North Chestnut. And those are the highlights of that meeting.
Okay. No ZBA update. Because they haven't met. Okay, do we have anything else? Anything we want to discuss as a board?
No, let's just definitely make sure to share out the tentative budget, like I know we were going to anyway, but just so people know,
Isn't it? It's on the website.
it is. I know, I'm making a note to
Okay.
myself to share it on social media.
Got it. Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
the royal left. Yeah, anyway, that's it.
Good idea. All right. Good thing Stevie and Stonham weren't here to make this meeting extra long. Just kidding.
Motion to
What?
adjourn.
That was my motion.
Second.